What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and today we're going to be talking about the new secret rewards over in DMZ, some crazy changes, and what you need to do before hopping into Building 21. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and let me know down below in the comments which mode have you guys been playing the most since the release of Season 1 Reloaded. Have you hopped more onto raids, over into Warzone 2.0, even DMZ, or about regular multiplayer? Let me know down below in the comment section. But with the release of the mid-season update, they've introduced us to a new DMZ perk system, which in my opinion was pretty cleverly executed. So as you can see here at the main menu now, we have an Xville streak tab, in which it does say that you can have an Xville streak going as far as you'd like, but if you get up to 10 Xvilles in a row, you can get a perk for each one of those Xvilles. So you'll be limited to having 10 perks total, and yes, it's probably what you expected. You will lose all of those perks upon dying. So let's say you get a streak of 5 to 6 and you get 5 to 6 perks on you. If you die, you lose all those perks. So you have to make sure that if you go ahead and get 10 Xvilles in a row and you have all those perks, make sure you very carefully hop into your next match of DMZ and don't get too crazy, because you will lose everything you just worked for. Now it does say though, completing a contract is required to earn your next Xville, and Building 21 Xvilles also count. We'll get more into Building 21 in a couple of minutes, but I think this ensures that you can't just hop into a match of DMZ and run right for the Xville site. That would be a little too simple, right? So what you want to do is hop on a DMZ and probably do the easiest contract that you can, which is probably going to be a contract like the nuclear waste objective, or even collecting intel. I don't think the cargo and hostage contracts are as easy as those two, or are ones that you can do very quickly so you can jump right to that Xville. You don't want to do anything that takes too long to where there's a huge chance you get third-partied, or a huge chance that you run into a bunch of AI that can possibly kill you. Because imagine being on your 8th or 9th Xville, really trying to get those 10 perks, and then all of a sudden you get hit by something really dumb because you stayed in the match just a little too long. So it's a bit of a dangerous grind, but the rewards are quite interesting because some of the perks do work exactly how they do in multiplayer, but some of them don't. Some of them are a bit different, and I think the perks are actually functioning in DMZ the way they're supposed to function in Warzone 2 Battle Royale. But as you guys are probably aware, perks are still bugged over in Warzone 2 Battle Royale, as I talked about in several videos. And at the time of recording this video, perks haven't been fixed just yet, specifically the perk packages over in BR. We'll talk more about that deeper into this commentary, but here's how the perks do work here in DMZ. So fast hands, reload, use equipment, and swap weapons faster. We already knew that one. For Ghost, undetectable by UAVs, portable radars, and heartbeats, which is obvious, that's how it works in MP. But then for Quick Fix, killing players or inserting a plate immediately starts health regen. That's a big one that I'm sure everybody out there is going to want to run as often as they can in DMZ, especially for the release of Building 21. We'll get more into that later as well. For Spotter, spot enemy equipment, field upgrades, and streaks through walls. Aiming down sight highlights them for the team. That's also a huge one for team communication and just strategizing how you're going to go ahead and infiltrate certain areas of the map. That's awesome. And then for Focus, reduce flinch when aiming down sights and extended hold breath duration. That's huge. Cold-blooded, undetectable by AI targeting systems and thermal optics, does not trigger high alert warning, does not highlight in enemy TAC cameras, recon drones, or spotter scopes. So I love the details that they provide for this perk, but that's also a big one for those out there that do find the AI a little too strong here in DMZ. And then Scavenger, obviously, resupply ammo and an extra plate from dead players. That's also a big one, since I think plating could be a bit of a problem sometimes. You don't have enough money to go ahead and buy plates from a buy station, or if you get unlucky when looting around the map. But if you happen to kill some dead players out there, you can get that extra plate, which could go a long way. We then have Strong Arm, throw equipment farther and see a preview of trajectory, double time, double the duration of tac sprint, and increase crouch movement speed by 30%. That's also going to be huge for PvP, which is pretty important for DMZ, of course. And then Bomb Squad, last but not least, and a bit of an ironic name there, take redacted damage from non-streak explosives, reset fuse timers when picking up live grenades. But I think that's a big one as well for when somebody out there does throw a grenade at you. The AI does it quite often, so there you have it with the new perk system. But I have heard some rumors out there that apparently there is a bug with being able to die in DMZ but not losing the perks that you earn from your Xville streaks. That's probably going to be fixed even sooner than the next title update. It'll probably be a hot fix at some point in the next couple of days. But hey, if they made it to where you can do an Xville streak of, 5 to 10 and you can keep those perks even when you die, that would be huge. So my idea is maybe being able to go ahead and unequip those perks at the menu and save them for a later date. Maybe you go on an Xville streak of 10 and then you're like, all right, at this point, what's the point of going on another Xville streak? Let me play a bit aggressively, and maybe you end up dying on that 11th game. Being able to stow those perks for maybe a future run of Building 21 and not Al Mazrah would be quite the strategy if they ever wanted to improve the economy that we have here in DMZ. Now, something I really want to stress is just how important this brand new perk system is, especially for Building 21. 21. Obviously, it's confirmed at the menu that exfilling on Building 21 also counts towards your exfil streak. It's not just something for Al Mazrah, but Building 21 is very difficult. For those out there that have seen gameplay of the map itself, or if you're watching this when the map is already out, Building 21 is no joke. Obviously, you have to already have a access key card from Al Mazrah to even play Building 21, and it's recommended that you find those colored key cards that are also in Al Mazrah, the blue, green, red, even the black one, which can access secret rooms in Building 21 to help you get the best loot possible. You want to make sure that you get the best loot possible as fast as possible, so being able to spawn in with perks in Building 21 will make all the difference, especially if you don't play in a 6-man squad with the assimilation feature. If you're just in a 3-man squad, or maybe you hop in solo or with one other person, having those perks can really help out with just how difficult the AI is in that map, because the AI in Building 21 is much more difficult than the AI that we have here in regular DMZ for Al Mazrah, so these perks can make a big difference and can really ensure that you can take out a boss like Velikan. But speaking of economy, that's something that I think a lot of people out there talked a lot about when we first got the gameplay preview of DMZ at that early play session event right before the launch of Season 1. And with that event, I think everybody out there realized, if DMZ doesn't have a bit of an economy to where there's something you can grind for at the main menu or something you can unlock by playing multiple games, then DMZ's lifespan might not be that long. But with the amount of content available in DMZ right now, and with the updates it's been getting, I still think the replayability is very strong even without a huge economy. But there's no doubt in my mind that because DMZ has a beta tag next to it at the menu, that probably means that a big economy update is going to drop at some point in like Season 2 or maybe after that. If they would have dropped everything on day one, it probably would have been a bit too much, blowing their load too early. It makes sense to kind of spread out a lot of these quality of life improvements that really change the way DMZ is played in the long run. So yeah, eventually having a marketplace where you can maybe save some of your currency or bring cash to the menu to be able to buy some blueprints or some other cool cosmetics, that would be fantastic, but it's not something that I think DMZ necessarily needs right this second. But if we get that as early as Season 2, that would be fantastic for the players out there grinding this mode. There's still so much to do in DMZ with the faction missions, the tiers, and even the other secret unlocks you can find around the map. That'll keep us going for the next couple of weeks. But as I covered in a recent video where we discussed all the patch notes for update 1.12, DMZ got quite a few improvements that you guys probably glanced over if you didn't sit through that entire video, or if you guys didn't even read the patch notes since they've released. But as they went ahead and wrote, general improvements to lighting and shadows across several major points of interest on Al Mazrah. Obviously they mentioned Building 21 as a new area for DMZ, which they should have labeled it as a new map, because it's not just a new area added to Al Mazrah, it's a completely separate map that you actually have to navigate to at the main menu. I also made a separate video as of yesterday talking about how to access Building 21 and where all the key cards are over in Al Mazrah. Those are very important to know when you hop into the match of our brand new experience. Increased number of active strongholds to 5, up from 3, with AI combatants, damage per bullet reduced by 26%, number of units per site reduced by 50%, and further reductions based on squad sizes. AI combatant reinforcements, double time between waves, number of units per wave reduced by 30%, and then for black sites, AI combatants now have additional armor and rewards an upgraded version of the Stronghold UAV, which will sweep twice as far and about 30% faster. So a bunch of nerfs and buffs to the way the AI works here in DMZ, as well as a bit of Warzone 2. But we also have cash value adjustments, general changes to valuable items, and changes to cash rewards for contracts. We also have container spawn rates, increased self-revives, gas masks and field upgrades, and first aid kits, increased plate carriers, backpacks and field upgrades, and weapon stashes, and then decreased electronic components and toothpaste over in certain areas of the map, as well as decreased number of items found in black markets. They've adjusted the plea for help option, eliminated players not able to request help from enemy players, resulting in them joining the squad as a new member, which is huge for longevity of DMZ for those who don't have too many friends. And then XP tokens can now be activated in the main lobby menu for DMZ. Random perks as well, as we covered in this video already, successfully extracting multiple times in a row will provide players with random perks for their next infill. And then medium and large backpack updates, these now allow for a third weapon slot. That's huge as well. And then for faction missions, made improvements to descriptions for better clarity. I'm also seeing reports that a lot of the bugged faction missions were fixed with this update. I'll of course make a follow-up video talking more about what Tier 5 is like for White Lotus, and even what the other rewards may be that we didn't know about because people couldn't progress and complete some of the missions. But there are some other quality life improvements, as you guys can see on screen, which to me is very healthy for both DMZ and Warzone 2. As of right now, it looks like DMZ is getting just a bit more attention than the Battle Royale, but I know there were plenty of bug fixes put into the Battle Royale, which is great to see. But I think for those out there that are not really a fan of Warzone 2 or even Al Mazrah, we'll probably get more into the BR side of things when Resurgence gets added, presumably in Season 2 with that smaller map that'll only fit 50 players. Consider it the replacement for Rebirth, which is coming sooner sooner than later. But that is about it. This has been DK Dynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the brand new secret rewards here in DMZ, aka the new perk system? How are you feeling about the crazy changes that DMZ got and everything else we discussed? Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everybody.